بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وموالاه. So we went through the chapter. We are going into the sixth hadith of this chapter, Babu Salatul Duha, the chapter regarding the Duha, Chash Salah. So we will move on to the sixth hadith of this chapter. حدثنا أحمد بن منيع حدثنا هشيم حدثنا عبيدة عن إبراهيم عن سهم بن منجاب عن قرصع الضبي أو عن فزع عن قرصع عن أبي أيوب الأنصاري رضي الله عنه أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يدمن 4 ركعات عنه زوال الشمس عند زوال الشمس. فقلت يا رسول الله إنك تدمن هذا 4 ركعات عند زوال الشمس. فقال إن أبواب السماء تفتح عند زوال الشمس فلا ترعج حتى يصلي الظهر ترتج حتى يصلي الظهر فأحب أن يصعد لي في تلك الساعة خير. قلت أفي كلهن قراءة؟ قال نعم. قلت هل فيهن تسليم فاصل؟ قال لا. أخبرني أحمد بن منيع حدثنا أبو معاوية حدثنا عبيدة عن إبراهيم عن سهم ابن منجاب عن قرصع عن أبي أيوب الأنصاري رضي الله عنه عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نحوه. Abu Ayyub Ansari radiallahu anhu says Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam always performed the 4 rakat after the time of zawal, midday, noon. I said, O Prophet of Allah, you give much importance to these 4 rakat after the zawal or after the midday, the noon, zawal of the sun. The Prophet ﷺ replied, the doors of the skies open for the zawal of the sun till the zuhr salah is performed. I desire that good deed of mine reaches the skies at this time. Subhanallah. I asked, is there a recital in every rakat? Do you have to do qira'at in every rakat? He replied, yes. I inquired, should salam be made in the middle? Meaning, should salam be made after 2 rakat? Meaning, should you read 2? The Prophet ﷺ replied, no. Salam should only be made at the end of the 4 rakat. The Sufis named this salah as Salatul Zawal or Salah Fay'ul Zawal. And this is included in the Mustahab prayer. According to the majority of the Muhaddithin, there is the 4 sunnah of Zuhr. This is the 4 sunnah of Zuhr. The reason being, besides the sunnah of Zuhr, there is no other nafil prayer after Zawal that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed regularly. In both cases, according to both sayings, this hadith and the one before has no apparent relevance with the Salatul Duha. It is perplexing that Imam Tirmidhi rahmatullahi has mentioned this hadith in this chapter. The Mashayikh have given a few explanations, because Salatul Duha is something which you read before Zawal, before the midday. This salah was performed after it, so why did he put it in this chapter? The first explanation is that this was the ending time for Chash Duha, therefore it was naturally included here, and a separate chapter was not created. Some are of the opinion that this is due to an error, mistake committed by the copier, the one who was writing, the writer, which resulted in this being mentioned here. Otherwise, its original place was in the previous chapter. It is said that in a few copies of this book, the Shamail, this hadith is mentioned under the previous chapter and not in this chapter. Some have given other explanation as well. So it could be other reason. So this could be Salah, the 4 sunnah of Zuhr, or it could be Salah Fay'ul Zawal. Salah Fay'ul Zawal or Salatul Zawal. حدثنا محمد بن مثنى حدثنا أبو داود حدثنا محمد بن مسلم عن أبي الوضاح عن عبد الكريم الجزري عن مجاهد عن عبد الله بن السائب أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يصلي 4 قبل أن تزول الشمس قبل الظهر وقال إنها ساعة تفتح فيها أبواب السماء فأحب أن يصعد لي فيها عمل صالح. Abdullah ibn Sa'ib radiallahu anhu reports Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performed 4 rak'at after zawal before the sunnah, and used to say, the doors of the heavens open at this moment. I like that good deeds of mine ascend at that time, go up. What deed can they be more pious and better than salah, as this is the best amongst all ibadah. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, the coolness of my eyes is in salah. In another hadith it is stated, the one that performs salah is like one having a private conversation with Allah. What more do we need? So the best thing a person can ever do at that time, if he wants to do a good deed, is the best of all good deeds, salah. The final hadith of this chapter, حدثنا أبو سلمة يحيى بن حلف حدثنا عمر بن علي المقدمي عن مسعر بن كدام عن أبي إسحاق عن عاصم ابن ضمرة عن علي رضي الله عنه أنه كان يصلي قبل الظهر 4 وذكر أن رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كان يصليها عند الزوال ويمد فيها. Ali radiallahu anhu used to perform 4 rak'at before Zuhr, and used to say, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also performed these 4 rak'at after Zawal and recited long verses in it. He would recite long verses, not just a quick 4-minute one, 1 minute rak'at or something. Imam Ghazali rahmatullahi has stated in Ihya al-Ulumuddin, his book, which you also find in English as well, that it is desirable to recite the Suratul Baqarah in these 4 rak'at. Suratul Baqarah, imagine that. That's like 3 paras, 2.5 para nearly. Amazing. You're reading nearly over half a juz, nearly 3/4 of a juz, 3/4 para in 1 rak'at, or a similar surah which consists of more than 100 ayat, so that the sunnah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam could be practiced in reciting a lengthy portion of the Quran. If not every day, at least every now and then, once a month or once in a lifetime or something, we should make a habit in Ramadan or something that we act upon this. May Allah grant all of us the understanding. Now the next chapter, Babu Salati Tatawwu' fil Bayt. Chapter on Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam performing the Nafil Salah, Tatawwu', the Nafil Salah fil Bayt, at home. This is only 1 hadith in this chapter, small chapter. It is better to perform the Nafil Salah in the home. It has been mentioned in many narrations that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam exhorted one to perform these in the home, and did so himself. Many benefits are derived from this devotion, from this salah. Amongst these are that through the barakah, the blessing of salah in the home becomes filled with blessings and nur. Subhanallah. Best way to fill the house up with blessings. The members of the household will learn the salah and will gain the courage to perform salah as well. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has commanded in a few ahadith that perform part of the salah in the home. Do not make it a graveyard. If you don't perform any salah at home, it will become dead. It will be empty of barakah. It will become like a graveyard. So don't make it into a cemetery, into a graveyard. Do not make your house like a graveyard where salah is not performed, or like the dead who do not perform the salah. Do not make the house in this manner a resemblance to a graveyard. The author has mentioned only 1 hadith in this chapter. حدثنا عباس العنبري حدثنا عبد الرحمن المهدي عن معاوية بن صالح عن الأعلاء بن الحارث عن حرام بن معاوية عن عمه عبد الله بن سعد قال سألت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم عن الصلاة في بيتي والصلاة في المسجد قال قد ترى ما أقرب بيتي من المسجد فلأن أصلي في بيتي أحب إلى من أن أصلي في المسجد إلا أن تكون صلاة مكتوبة. Subhanallah. Abdullah ibn Sa'ib radiallahu anhu says, I inquired from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, is it more virtuous, is it more meritorious to perform nafil salah in the house or in the masjid? Subhanallah, look at the answer. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, do you observe that my house is so near, do you not see to the masjid? Which does not make it difficult or cause a hindrance in coming to the masjid. In spite of all this, I prefer to perform the salah besides the fara'id in my house. So close, rather than in the masjid. So besides the farad, also the house is so close, I prefer to perform the rest of the salah in the house. As the nawafil are based on concealment, you should try to hide it. Therefore it is better to perform it in the home, to ensure complete concealment. Better. It keeps away from show and pretense. But certainly it is undesirable that a fara'id be concealed. A person says, but I don't see you in the masjid, I read it at home, I don't want to show people. Fara'id you should be reading in the masjid. More ajr, more reward is gained by performing the fara'id in the masjid. Included are also the rak'at performed after the tawaf of the Kaaba, Salatul Tarawih, etc. Although the Salatul Tarawih is not from the fara'id, it is a particular feature of Ramadan and is masnoon to perform in jama'ah, congregation. Likewise is every salah performed with jama'ah, like the salah of kusuf, solar eclipse salah, which are meant to be publicly declared. Therefore it is desirable to perform these in the masjid. Many people, they like to play along. So what do? You tell the brother, you don't read any sunnah. He says, no. Oh, mashallah, you may be reading in the house. So then he gets happy. Even if the person is not reading in the house, he gets happy. So you shouldn't just play along with it. You should, if you know that you're not going to read it in the house, then better you read it in the masjid. Many people, they know that I go home and then I get busy with other things and I forget. Better read it in the masjid. If you are going to read, then the best option is to read it in the home. But if you know you're not going to read it at home, better read than not read. Meaning, better read in the masjid. So that's what regarding the salah of the Prophet ﷺ. Now we have another long chapter in front of us. Just today in Jummah I was mentioning, I said we have less than 50 days left for Ramadan. Less than 50 days. If we count the days from today till Ramadan, it's just about over 40 days. Yeah? Just 1.5 months, just about, if even that, less than that. So the pious people, 5.5 months after Ramadan, they used to regret, grief, that why did Ramadan leave us? Why did, fasting and Taraweeh and Qiyam and all this had to leave us? And then the next 5.5 months, they used to prepare for the next Ramadan. Nowadays, alhamdulillah, 2-3 months before we prepare food-wise. Do all the shopping, then fill the freezers up. The women folk, mashallah, they make it all the savories and everything, yeah? Food-wise. But is that what Ramadan is all about? Ramadan is a month to get closer to Allah. So we need to start preparing ourselves spiritually, mentally, start reading more Quran. So by Ramadan we get used to reading Quran. Start reading more tahajjud. So by Ramadan we get used to reading tahajjud. Start performing our salah with jama'ah. So in Ramadan we get used to it. Start making more dua. Start fasting. Yeah? So by Ramadan it doesn't become difficult for us. We are in the habit of fasting every Mondays and Thursdays and every other day, like the fasting of Dawud alayhi salam, he used to fast one day and he used to leave one day. So start practicing from now. So this chapter we have in front of us now, Babu ma ja'a fi sawmi Rasulillahi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The chapter regarding the fasting of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The nafil fast, Sawm of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is discussed here. It was the noble practice of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to observe many fast. At times he continuously observe fast for many days. The virtues of fasting have been mentioned in many books. in every command of Allah there are thousands of benefits and wisdom. The human mind and lofty thinking cannot reach the wisdom of Almighty Allah, the All-Wise. Every person can grasp the worldly and the religious benefit of Allah's command only till where it can think. The wisdom of Allah is much higher than this, in the manner that all other commands of Allah are filled with thousands of blessings. Likewise is fasting. A few of its blessings are apparent and self-evident, one of which is beneficence and sympathy. One who remains hungry can feel what a hungry person may experience. Isn't it? You are only experiencing it today. There are people in the world who may be experiencing it daily. That's their life. Allah make it easy. The difficulties the hungry confront, in such a state one creates a passion to help the hungry, and the feeling to help the poor is also sensed. More than this, it subdues one's animalistic passions and urges. Many a time when these tendencies irritate a human, it results in degrading a human religiously as well as materially. Maulana Rumi rahmatullahi explains, this love which the people have today is not the love which good people have. This is a mischief to fill the stomach. When the stomach is filled, then unlawful deeds come to mind, and when the stomach is empty and full of hunger, then love and its kind are all forgotten. So these people, they eat, overeat, then they eat like animal, then they act like animal. You stay hungry, then you'll become weak, and then you don't want to do the wrong things. He said, no, I need the energy. I'll just rather just keep the energy for the ibadat of Allah. Therefore it is stated in the hadith, the one who cannot get married should observe many fasts, for this will subdue his carnal passions. A major benefit of fasting is the great spiritual strength that is derived from it. For this reason, in every religion and society, there was a form of fasting. Yeah, you look at other religions as well. You look at Christianity, you look at Judaism. They also fast. They also keep fast. From amongst the truthful religion, since the time of the Prophet ﷺ, since the time of Adam alayhi salam, fasting has been prescribed. Just imagine, still the first human. The practices of the Anbiya alayhi salam were different in this matter. Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salam fasted for 12 months. Nuh alayhi salam fasted for 12 months. The practice of Sayyidina Dawud alayhi salam was to fast every other day, every alternative day. That was the best fast. Ahabbu siyam, Sawm Dawud, Siyam Dawud. That the best fast to Allah is the fasting of Dawud alayhi salam. Sayyidina Isa alayhi salam fasted every third day. So he would fast 2 days, not fast, then fast, 2 days not fast, like this. Every third day he used to fast. In the same manner, the Anbiya alayhi salam had different practices. So all the different Anbiya used to practice fasting in some way, in different ways. The practice of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was unique in this respect. Due to periodical benefits, it was his practice to fast on special and fixed days. Besides this, at times, for timely benefits, he continuously fasted, and at times did not fast. The reason is clear, that when fasting is observed as an antidote or a medical cure for timely benefits, it will be necessary, as in principle of medicine, to use less or more. The author has given a few examples of the practices of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then you have Ramadan in front of us. In just over a month, we have Ramadan. The reason Allah has made Ramadan farad, that if Allah hadn't made it farad, some people would never fast. Some people, alhamdulillah, just because of Ramadan, they at least fast once in a year. If Allah hadn't made it farad, some people won't even fast. And the huge reward Allah has kept for those who are fasting, the reward is amazing, so great. There's a special door, one of the doors of Jannah, out of the 8 doors, there's a special door in Jannah, which is only for the people who fast. Imagine that. Yeah. So if a person never fasted, how would you get these rewards? So Allah has made it that you have to fast in Ramadan, so you can become deserving of these rewards. So there are so many benefits, so many wisdoms behind, the commands of Allah and the ways of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So inshallah we'll do one or two hadith and then we finish inshallah. حدثنا قتيبة بن سعيد حدثنا حماد بن زيد عن أيوب عن عبد الله بن شقيق قال سألت عائشة رضي الله عنها عن صيام رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قالت كان يصوم حتى نقول قد صام ويفطر حتى نقول قد أفطر قالت وما صام رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم شهرا كاملا منذ قدم المدينة إلا رمضان. Abdullah ibn Shaqiq radiallahu anhu reports, I inquired from Aisha radiallahu anha regarding the optional fast, nafil fast of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She replied, at times Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasted continuously. We used to say, he will keep on fasting this month. And then at times he did not fast till we began thinking that he would not fast that month. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not fast for a full month after he came to Medina, besides the fast of Ramadan. In this manner, the passing of the whole month without fasting was not observed. As mentioned in Abu Dawud, this practice of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be mentioned in the commentary of Hadith number 3 of this chapter, inshallah. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to sometimes fast so much that we used to think that maybe he's going to fast all the time now. The whole month he's going to fast. And sometimes he would not fast. So it just depends. حدثنا علي بن حجر حدثنا إسماعيل بن جعفر عن حميد عن أنس بن مالك رضي الله عنه أنه سئل عن صوم النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. حدثنا شعبة عن يزيد الرشق قال كان يصوم من الشهر حتى نرى أن لا يريد أن يفطر منه ويفطر حتى نرى أن لا يريد أن يصوم منه شيئا وكنت لا تشاء أن تراه من الليل مصليا إلا رأيته مصليا ولا نائما إلا رأيته نائما. Subhanallah. Anas radiallahu anhu reports, someone was asked about the fasting. Someone was asked about the fasting of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He replied, it was his habit to fast on different occasions. In some months, he fasted for so many days that it was thought that he would continue fasting. In other months, he did not fast. We thought he would not fast now. It was also from his noble habits that if one wanted to observe, wanted to see Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam perform salah at night, it was possible. And if one wanted to see the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sleeping at night, then he would also see that as well. The object here is that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was not to sleep the whole night, neither to remain awake the full night, but adopt a middle position, like how we did in the hadith of Mishkat, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to half of the night ibadah, half of the night sleep, half for himself, half for Allah, wherein the nights, the rights of the nafs were considered, and also the ibadah was given its full importance. So he would give his body the rest it needs, as well as the ibadah, the amount it needs, not only the nafs. Therefore it was possible to see him sleep at night as he retired for a portion of the night, and also see the salah as part of the night was devoted for salah. Some of the ulama have given another explanation to this, that the noble habit of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam varied in this respect. It was different. At times he performed the nafil salah in the first portion of the night, sometime in the middle portion of the night, and at times in the last portion of the night. So sometimes he performed tahajjud in the beginning, middle or end. Therefore, if one wanted to see the sleep or salah at a special time of the night, this too was possible. If one feels that one would like to observe the salah of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam at a certain part of the night, then this opportunity could also be obtained. And if one wished to observe the sleep at this time, an opportunity could also be obtained at that time. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would rotate the time spent in ibadah to every portion of the night on different days. we understand two benefits of this. The first is that the main objective is ibadah, and humans were created for this reason, resulting in attaining the pleasure of Allah. On every portion of the night, at one time or another, the blessing will be obtained. So the reason he used to perform ibadah at different times, because that was the purpose, so he can take the blessing of every time. That was one of the reasons. Then the second reason is that when ibadah is confined to a certain time, it becomes a sort of a habit. Then what happens? Then the taste and pleasantness of hardship does not remain. Then the person doesn't feel hard. Aadat par gayi, it's just become my habit now. Then he doesn't feel that going against himself, the sacrifice. He doesn't feel sacrifice in doing it. When ibadah is performed at different times of the night, it will not become a habit. Many people, they complain. It's so easy to understand, especially living in the UK. Sometimes we have, tahajjud time, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And now Ramadan is coming 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Yeah. So we can act upon everything. We can act upon all of these sunnah. Sometimes the Prophet of Allah used to perform, like at these nights, we can perform tahajjud and then go to sleep. So we can act upon that hadith of the Prophet, that way of the Prophet ﷺ, that he used to perform tahajjud in the beginning of the night. And then in the winter time we can act upon the other part, that he used to go to sleep and then wake up. How encompassing the life of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is, that is a role model for everyone living in every part of the world. Amazing. Nobody can say that how can I do this? Many people may say that for people living in countries where the whole year there's not much of a time difference, for them it's easy because they can make a little timetable in their life. Like in the hot countries near the equator, they don't have much time difference the whole year. Yeah. For us, from Maghrib in winter to Maghrib in summer is like 5 hours difference. 5 hours difference. Maghrib in winter is like 3:45, 10:45, and Maghrib in summer 9:45. So 5 hours difference, or so even more. So we said it's difficult for us to make a timetable. Time is changing every day. The time is changing. But if we look at the life of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that was the whole purpose. That was the whole purpose. It's not for us to sit, and stick to a certain routine. Rather do sacrifice, and that is what Allah loves more. If a person gets into the habit of doing something, then that is good. Mashallah, he's in the habit of doing something. But when a person feels a bit hard for him to do something, then that is extra reward, extra sacrifice for him. Inshallah, we'll just do one more hadith and then we finish. حدثنا محمود بن غيلان حدثنا أبو داود حدثنا شعبة عن أبي بشر قال سمعت سعيد بن جبير عن ابن عباس رضي الله عنه قال كان النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يصوم حتى نقول ما يريد أن يفطر منه ويفطر حتى نقول ما يريد أن يصوم منه وما صام شهرا كاملا منذ قدم المدينة إلا رمضان. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu relates Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam fasted for the major portion of the month at times, till we thought that he did not intend ending the fast. In some months he did not fast at all. We began to think he would not fast now. Besides Ramadan, he did not fast for a full month till after he came to Medina. The practice of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been mentioned in many different hadiths. There are two reasons for this. The first one has already been mentioned in the beginning of the chapter, that in reality fasting is an antidote, and at times it is a medicine for spiritual fulfillment and other benefits. In this manner, according to the general rules of medicine, at times it is necessary to use the medicine continuously. Like you have an infection, then you need to use antibiotics every day. So it's like a medicine. So if you're spiritual, you have an illness, then you need to use the medicine of fasting regularly. And at times there is no need for it. Or if it is casually needed, then due to some timely obstacle, it is necessary to abstain from it. This is common amongst physicians who can reach the state of spiritual doctor more. Many a time fasted continuously for timely necessities, and at times did not fast. The spiritual doctor of the ummah may determine. So when we go to a spiritual doctor, then they will tell us what to do. Like the way we go to a health, we go for a health checkup, we should go for a spiritual checkup as well every now and then. For the sake of spiritual benefit, when should one fast and when should one not fast? Those who are not spiritual doctors themselves should consult those who are and benefit from them. The second reason is this, that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a few special practices. For example, the fasting of the days of Monday and Thursday, 3 days every month, Ayyamul Bayt, meaning 13, 14, 15 of the Islamic lunar month, 10th of Muharram, and the 10 days, the first 9 days of Dhul Hijjah, because the 10th is Eid. Many times, because of being on a journey or due to some obstacle, these fasts were not kept. Because he was always out and about. He was always Badr, Uhud, Hunayn, Tabuk, Khandaq. He was always out and about. So sometimes he could have missed some of these fasts. So he may have missed. When the obstacle were overcome, he kept these missed fasts as a qada, and also to complete his special practice. Although it's not for us, you don't have to. If a person, for example, was to miss Monday and Thursday fast, do you have to do qada? There's no qada for it. Only in Ramadan, if you miss for a valid reason, then you have to give qada. If it's for no reason, then you have to give kafara as well. But these fasts, no qada. Monday, Thursday, 13, 14, 15. But the Prophet of Allah himself took it upon himself. He himself took it upon himself. That that is the whole reason Allah has created me for his ibadah. It was also from the special habit of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that whenever he began a devotion, an ibadah, he continuously kept up this practice. Therefore, whenever any fast was missed for his special practice, he completed them by observing continuous fast. O Allah, grant us the strength to follow his noble path. Amazing. And how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was so important, that we have certain things in our lives. We keep certain things. Okay, we read the 5 times salah, mashallah, we read the sunnah here and there. We keep the fast of Ramadan. Sometimes, when we get the boost, then we keep a fast. But to get into a system, to go towards, like Shaykh has mentioned, Shaykh Khabbaab has mentioned in the commentary about a spiritual physician. One is to go for health checkup by a health doctor, GP, for our health. Just today, one youngster, amazing, his father was so emotional when he sent the message, then the brother sent the message himself as well. 20-year-old, he's been diagnosed with cancer. 20-year-old. Amazing. Allah make it easy. I made an announcement in Jummah as well. So just imagine if that person never went to that physician. He never went to the doctor for a checkup. He wouldn't have realized, and he would have just carried on with life, and he would regret it later on, that I wish I had diagnosed this earlier on and all this. Same way, every person has spiritual illnesses. He has love for the dunya, he has greed, he has jealousy, he has not feeling, not wanting to do ibadah, doesn't feel like doing it. These are all spiritual illnesses. Yeah. So when he will go to a pious person, a spiritual doctor, a sheikh, and he will tell him, and it's completely confidential. The sheikh is not going to put it all up on Facebook that, oh yeah, that person came and name and shame the guy, that, oh, this person, he acts so pious. And no, it's completely confidential. The same way the doctor doesn't have anything against you. He wants to treat your illnesses. He doesn't hate you. He just wants to get rid of those illnesses. The same way the sheikh, he doesn't hate you. He may act as if, he's not happy with you, but that's not because of you. It's because of the evil or the spiritual illnesses you have. He wants to work on it. So He's just like a doctor. That doesn't mean that now the doctor never becomes ill. There are so many doctors who become ill as well. Listen. Yeah. So same way, he may also be going through spiritual illnesses, the Shaykh. Yeah. So he is treating himself, and because he's a spiritual doctor, he can treat other people as well. Yeah. And at the end of the day, he will only give us a little prescription. Just like the way at the end of the day, the doctor will only give us a prescription. Shifa is in the hands of Allah. Cure is only from Allah. Same way, that spiritual doctor, he is not going to clean us. He's not going to clean our spirituality. He will just give us a little prescription that, okay, you've got this, you've got love for the dunya, you've got this illness, you've got sad jealousy, you've got hatred, you've got this illness, whatever. Yeah. So now you'll have to fast so many days a month, you'll have to do the dhikr of Allah morning and evening, you'll have to do so much tasbih, la ilaha illallah, astaghfirullah. At the end of the day, we don't have to keep our faith in whatever He has told us to do. We need to do that. But Allah will give us, Allah will cure us. Just like the way the health cure comes from Allah, the spiritual cure also comes from Allah. Okay? Focus should be Allah. That this person is only giving me a prescription. Just like the way this doctor is only giving me a prescription. I can't keep my faith in that medicine. Faith is only in the hands of Allah. I'm just trying. May Allah first of all give me the ability, give all of us the ability. Inshallah, we just go through the khulasa. So, khulasa is like a little conclusion. So the Prophet ﷺ, he would perform 4 rak'at after the sun declined before Zuhr. You could say this was the 4 sunnah of Zuhr, or it could be Salah Fay'uz Zawal. He said, it is a time in which the gates of Jannah or the gates of heaven are opened, and I want that good deeds of mine goes up at that time. Subhanallah. And what better good deed than Salah, which is the best of all deeds. He liked to perform voluntary ibadah in his house, in spite his house being so close to the masjid. He gave the same instructions to someone who asked him that, shall I read my nafil in the house or in the masjid? He said, look at my house. Can you not see my house? It's just next to the masjid. But I perform, besides the fara'id, I perform everything else in the house. But if a person knows that he's not going to read anything else in the house, rather than not performing at all, better in the masjid. Now the fasting of the Prophet ﷺ, he would fast until it would be said he will continue to fast, and then he stopped from fasting until it would be said he will not fast. He did not fast for an entire month other than Ramadan after he came to Medina. May Allah grant all of us the understanding. We should also start fasting, maybe even once a week, or 13, 14, because Ramadan is coming, boost ourselves up. You understand? Because what happens normally in Ramadan, that when Ramadan comes, we get the fizz, the buzz of Ramadan. So the first few days, 3-4 days, mashallah, we did so much ibadah. Mashallah, everything in the masjid and khub Quran and then after the 4th or 5th Ramadan, after a week of Ramadan, then we don't do anything besides the fasting we are doing. Then it just becomes a normal day. You understand? So it becomes like a fizz in a bottle that we open the fizz up, and the first beginning time was, no, Ramadan, it may not come again. We don't even know whether we'll make it to Ramadan. So every day we should live as if it could be my last day of my life. Every day, every moment, this Ramadan that is coming in 1.5 months time, look at it as if it could be the last Ramadan of my life. There were so many people last year, they are not with us today. Every moment of Ramadan could be my last moment of my life. Only then we'll be able to value. Only then we'll be able to value the Ramadan and the blessings of Ramadan. May Allah grant all of us understanding. Subhanallah bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.